Hey everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and today's video is a little different. This is more of a family holiday trip that we took immediately post-COVID lockdown. We went off to Yarrangobilly Caves, which, as you just saw on the map there, is about halfway between Albury and Canberra. It's accessible off the Stony Mountains Highway, as you can see on this map here, with the inward route being on the north side and the exit on the south side. It's a complex of established buildings.
So here we are at Yarrangobilly Cave, staying in the Lyrebird Cottage there behind us. So this is more of a family holiday trip post-lockdown than a full driving trip per se. It's a great spot here. It's been a few years since we've been here last, and it's really good to be back. So there's a few accommodation options here at Yarrangobilly, and last time we stayed here, we actually stayed in one of the big guest houses down near the Visitor Information Centre. So this is Lyrebird Cottage. It's the only dwelling on this access track. You've got some parking here. And built-in barbecue on the deck. So we've got this deck area here, and probably not as nice an outlook as pre-bushfire, but you can see it's recovering. And it's a 2-bedroom self-contained cottage. Let's go inside. Polished concrete floors. Literally just arrived, so just dumped everything on the kitchen table. But yeah, you got a nice full-size kitchen, full-size fridge here, generous living area, and a couple of bedrooms and bathrooms in the back half. So looking forward to spending a couple of days here away from everything a little bit.
So once we settled in, it did not take long for the locals to realise they had some visitors, and before too long we had a pretty solid population of kangaroos crowded around the outside of the Lyrebird Cottage. As you can see there, a couple of them even had joeys in the pouches, which was just really cool to see. They were certainly friendly and well used to people being around. Not probably quite so friendly enough that you'd go up and pat them. They're not pets, but they certainly weren't too bothered having humans around. As you can see, we could get pretty close to film them, and they're more inclined to have a look at you and see what you're doing and just run away. There's one of the joeys hopping around. He was very quick. It's another great part of this trip.
Here we are, first morning at Yarrangobilly. We've just headed down to the main car park. That's the original Yarrangobilly homestead up there. And we're about to head off and do the self-guided Glory Cave tour.
As you can see on the map there, there's a car park right at the start of the walk. And most of the caves are accessible from this walk. You do need to buy a ticket for the South Glory Cave, which is the self-guided cave that we're about to do, and the others you need to book appointments for.
Here we are, just at the start of the Glory Cave walk. So heading down, opening up into the main gorge. It's great to be back here. It's been about 7 years or so since we last came to Yarrangobilly. You can see evidence of the bushfires on the rocks. And the huge amount of work it would have taken to get this area back open again. You can just perhaps see, or certainly perhaps hear, the river down the bottom of the valley there. See the trees on the hills growing back after the bushfires swept through here.
The walk from the car park to the cave is pretty short, 500 metres as you saw, and it's a fairly easy grade. It's a well-maintained path all the way, so yeah, quite an easy walk. The cave itself does have some steps, so that's worth considering, but anyone with a basic level of fitness would be fine to do it. You can see there a sign pointing down to the Riffle Walk that runs along the valley. We didn't actually do that this time, but talked to a couple of people that did, and sounds like it's well worth checking out. You can see the river down below there that flows right through the valley. These caves are millions of years old. They're limestone karst caves.
Here we are, almost around to the entrance of the cave, the South Glory Cave at Yarrangobilly. See the evidence on the rock face still there, and there's the cave entrance. We are at the start of the North Glory Cave. Looking back, there's the entrance and the valley outside. And this is the entrance to the South Glory Cave. Now it hasn't been raining for probably nearly 24 hours. You can see how long it takes the water to actually work its way through the rocks. And we've got a pretty steady shower there into that little pool. And that's where we're heading with the rest of the cave.
The start of the South Glory Cave starts off on this fairly wide, flat concrete path, and there's a massive cavern. It's got a large central area in the top letting natural light in from that cave collapse some years ago, which you'll see come into frame shortly. It's a really easy start for the walk, and by and large the walk is pretty easy. There's just a couple of sections that are reasonably tight and have some small narrow steps, as you'll see. Didn't take footage all the way through the cave, of course, got to leave some of it for you to see for yourselves. But yeah, definitely recommend getting up here and checking it out if you get the chance.
Just inside the very entrance of the South Glory Cave, you can see there's quite a lot of water in this cave, and water droplets. So yes, you need to buy your cave ticket from the Parks office before coming in on this self-guided tour. And that's the next part of the cave. Well worth checking out, really cool. Here we are in the cave, and as you can see, the steps on the path are basically forming a mini waterfall. Here we are, the next portion of the cave. It's an amazing cave, this one. It closes in and opens up. This section here is quite narrow, as you can see, and there's lots of water. Just an amazing cave. Another amazing section of the cave. Further on in the South Glory Cave, and you can see some amazing flowstone there. Trying to light it up but not flare it out with the torch, and the water in that pool is just crystal clear, and I'm not sure if it's going to come out on the video footage or not, but you can see the water just shooting across that flowstone, running down here across even more flowstone to end up in a pool down the bottom here. Just an amazing cave complex and system here, well worth coming up here to check it out for yourself. We're up on Bluff Lookout, looking down on the caves house and visitor information centre and day use area. You can see one of the old houses there in the background. You can't quite make out Lyrebird Cottage where we're staying. and you can hear the river that flows through the bottom there. So access to this lookout is via a 150 metre walking track if you drive up the one-way access road that takes you to Jillabenen Cave and the other caves in this area.
The last place that we actually stopped within the Yarrangobilly complex was the old powerhouse building, where today they're still generating hydroelectric power.
So here we are at the Yarrangobilly powerhouse, and as you can see, they're still using some hydroelectric power from this little stream here to actually provide power to the caves complex. There's the building where the power sits in, and here's the main part of the stream diverting around the powerhouse.
Thanks everybody for watching this video. It's a little different to our usual content. Not a lot of four-wheel driving in this one, but it's a very special area and well worth investigating. There's the thermal pools, the Riffle Walk, and heaps of other caves that we didn't actually have time to visit on this trip. So plenty of information on the internet to check that out.